The world awaits what is to happen to KTM and Husqvarna in the global stage because they are one and the same. But the 2.4 billion euro question is, who is going to come in to save the day? Will it be CF Moto, Bajaj, BMW, a financial firm, or perhaps somebody else? Now, Motor Ace, the new distributors of the brand here in the Philippines, were confident enough to launch 3 new motorcycles: the KTM Duke 390, the Svartpilen 401, and this, the Vitpilen 401. Let's learn more about it in this episode of Beyond the Ride. The bike is powered by a 399cc liquid-cooled 4-stroke dual overhead cam single-cylinder engine that punches out 46 horsepower and 37 newton-meters of torque. You get WP Apex inverted forks up front, which are preload adjustable, and a twin-sided swing arm for the rear. You get disc brakes with bi-brake calipers, 320mm up front and 240mm for the back. For the tires, you get 110 by 70 for the front, 150 by 60 for the rear. Both wheels are size 17s cast alloys wrapped in Michelin Power 6s, which are really good sport tires. All right, so let's talk about the aesthetics. Probably the main reason people would buy this motorcycle. I mean, it's a Vitpilen, right? It looks great. It looks like the old one, ish, with a couple of changes. But the first thing I did notice is that they did away with the clip-ons, and they went with the more universal drag bar instead. Now, in my opinion, the Vitpilen was supposed to be the cafe racer of the Svartpilen, and the clip-ons would have looked really great on this bike. I understand they probably wouldn't be able to get the turning radius proper or right with the clip-ons, and it's going to be more comfortable as well with the drag bar. But the clip-ons, for me, if they figured out a way to just make it work, I think it would have looked better. Again, I'm probably in the minority of this because most people would want something a little bit more comfortable, which is what they did with this. Something else that I like about the bike is this. I mean, this right here. The way this looks when it's coming towards you, they got this right in the beginning, in the first Vitpilen, and they got it right as well with this one. I mean, it looks great. It definitely does. And the headlight it's new, but it's still, you know, it still looks like the old one. Now, myself and Earl, we were discussing this. He says he doesn't like it. He says it's too big. I think it's okay. It's a little bit chunkier. It's a little bit bigger. It's a little bit longer than the previous model. And let's go to the back. Well, the seat is nice, actually. It's nice and plush. But another afterthought for me, aside from the side mirrors, actually, that's what I want to talk about first. The side mirrors, I always believe that designers of a motorcycle will design the bike, and then the side mirrors, at least for most, are always an afterthought. I mean, they just don't look good. Bar ends would have looked really so much better with this bike. Now, another afterthought aside from the side mirrors, let's go to the rear of the bike. I also don't think this looks great. You know, it's a shame. I mean, of course, it's an easy fix. You can get a tail tidy for the bike, and that will cure that. But it would have looked just sleeker, or just, I mean, the bike itself is such a sleek looking machine, but I think this kind of ruined it a little bit, right? So again, easy fix. Also, this is an easy fix. Overall, the aesthetics of the bike, Vitpilen always, you know, will always look good. It is bigger, it is wider. If you told me that this was the middleweight Vitpilen, I probably would believe you if I didn't see the 401 right there. So aside from the big aesthetics of the bike, KTM also redesigned a couple of things. So the trellis frame is new. The shocks have been moved over to the side over here. The underbelly exhaust, the old version of the Vitpilen 401 had an exhaust coming out somewhere over here. Yeah, so I mean, you appreciate some of the things that KTM/Husqvarna updated on the bike. I see one fan there and another fan here as well. So hopefully that's going to help with the cooling of the machine. So let's take a look at what's underneath the seat. Not much space, but you do get a toolkit, which could come in handy for KTM and Husqvarna owners out there. Okay, so let's talk about some of the updated features of the bike. So the first thing that people are going to notice is that you finally have a TFT screen. And I actually I like this. The old generation Vitpilen, it had this strange looking display, but this one, in my opinion, looks modern enough to match the rest of the motorcycle. It has riding modes as well. It has rain and street. And I do believe there's one more riding mode that you can add later on, and I think that's Supermoto or something like that. But I mean, the display is one of the biggest improvements for me. You have, of course, an up and down quick shifter. You have the adjustability right here on the forks, and of course, just like in the previous generation Vitpilen, the switches, the buttons, they light up at night, so you can see what you're pressing if you're not familiar with the bike just yet. All right, so let's do a sound test, shall we? As you can imagine, the ergonomics are more comfortable than the old Vitpilen, mostly because of the raised handlebar. You do still feel some heat from the engine, but it's not too crazy bad. I'm thinking the fans actually are pushing the hot air towards the rider, but you know what? I don't think it's too bad. I don't think it's too drastic a change, but maybe I've just gotten used to warmer motorcycles through the years. Now, it's a great daily bike. If you ask me, it really is a great daily ride. It's easy to maneuver in traffic, and it's very light. You know, it's a bike that I personally would use on a daily. But if you want to, you can also have some fun with this bike on the twisties, and it's something that you could enjoy for the weekend as well. It wouldn't be my first choice for long rides, but that's okay. I mean, if you still decide to take it on the expressway to go very long distances, it will handle that, but it wouldn't be my first choice. Now, it would be a very good second bike to own if you have like a massive adventure bike already, or maybe a track-focused sport bike. I think this bike would be a good alternative for you to get around in the city if you have those two style of motorcycles. It's also a good choice for beginners. For beginners who want to get on the expressway, I think this is one of those bikes that you could definitely, you know, learn on and then graduate to a bigger one. Or if you've started riding scooters and you want to get into bigger bikes, I think this bike is a pretty good choice as well. The suspension, I think it's okay. I mean, it's not something that I would, you know, push for performance purposes. But for normal riding, for everyday real world riding, the suspension is definitely, it's not bad. It's something that it's not excellent, but it's not bad as well. So I know, I was harping already on the handlebars, that they're not the Vitpilen handlebars. They're not the Vitpilen of old handlebars. But you know what? Riding it around the city, it's more comfortable this way, and it definitely does help when you're doing your day-to-day activities, that it's not as committed, not as aggressive than the old Vitpilen because of those clip-on handlebars. Now, it might be too early to talk about the after-sale service, since there are new distributors here in the Philippines, but Motor Ace is a trusted group, and they've been a major player for some time. So I'm pretty confident that they will get it all sorted out. In fact, KTM Global are so confident they're going to figure this out that they're giving 4 years warranty. Typically you'll get 2 years, some will give you 3, but KTM Worldwide said, you know what, we're going to figure this out. We're going to give you 4 years. Now, the bike does face some very stiff competition in the Neo Retro category. You have, of course, the Triumph Speed 400. That's actually one of my personal favorite motorcycles in the smaller displacement group. You also have the Royal Enfield Gorilla. I think that bike is going to be something to watch out for as well. And if you want to go more retro, You have maybe the CF Moto CLC and the Honda Rebel. But I think the main competition of this bike is definitely the Speed 400 and the Gorilla. All right, so in conclusion, well, the old 401 Vitpilen I absolutely loved. And the new one has all the necessary improvements from the old generation. And the new distributors of Husqvarna in the Philippines, Motor Ace, managed to get the price actually in the competitive range with the other smaller displacement bikes. You can get this bike right here for 309,000 Philippine pesos. For more information about this bike and other MCs out there, log on to www.motodeal.com.ph. I'm Jinno. Thanks for watching this episode of Beyond the Ride.